Oh my god, let's try something.
See what happened on TV
Oh
last
yeah,
night?
I always watch.
Oh my god.
It's so fun. It was so
Yeah,
good.
I watched that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hello.
Hi guys. Welcome to what episode is this?
Episode 9.
Oh my god. Episode 9 of Twin Talk. We hope you're having a great time chit-chatting with us. We love hearing from you guys and all of your opinions and everything you guys have been talking about. We have a lot to talk about with The Bachelor. I mean, it was explosive.
It was freaking
last
insane.
night.
First, let's tell them what we're drinking or what we're about to try.
Eek.
So we were out grabbing some beer and pizza because we were, we're hanging out with our friend Jen for Bachelor last night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bachelorette last night. And it's so funny because Stevie's been like, where can I find a cream soda, a cream beer?
A cream beer. I really wanted a cream beer because we tried some at the beer festival and it was so good, and I just can't find it anywhere.
And
well, guess what? We found some.
Yeah, like I look over and I see this pack of Stewart's, like the cream beer place
The
or
cream
the cream
soda.
soda place, and they have spiked seltzer now, just like every single person does. So we were like, of course we have to try it. So I'm going to try the orange cream spiked seltzer, and Stevie's going to try the root beer spiked seltzer.
So let's give it a go.
Let's try this. Let's try this bad boy.
All right. Cheers, bitch.
I don't know. The smell smells a little
Funky?
medicine-y. Okay, I'm nervous. Oh, God, I'm scared. Okay. Huh.
Okay.
It's not bad.
The root beer?
Uh-huh.
You're right. I don't like, there's something about
like
the
the
smell
smell.
I don't like.
I don't like the smell of it. I don't
But
like
this
the smell
tastes
of it.
like root beer.
But the taste of it's good. It's good for one.
Yeah.
It's
like
good for one.
this tastes like watered down root beer. Like,
Here, let me try.
it's good.
Sorry, I have lipstick on it.
Ooh.
Right?
I know exactly. You know what it smells
Oh,
like?
see, the root beer smells like root beer to me. I'm not a big root beer fan. Stevie
The
loves root beer.
orange smells like
like fucking
like it smells like medicine, but it's a very particular
Yes,
type
like-
of medicine.
like vitamin C
Like
emergency.
Like emergency, but like
Like the off-brand.
yeah, like the off-brand. Okay, here. But this isn't a cream ale.
Yeah, but it's still okay. The root beer's good.
It tastes exactly like an orange cream, just like watered down.
Yeah.
But it's not a cream ale.
Well, yeah, we knew that when we got it because it's a spiked seltzer.
Well, fuck, man.
You were
I
so
really
close.
want cream beer.
No, I know you do, but I thought you understood that this was a spiked seltzer.
I didn't understand the
You
assignment.
didn't understand. We're drinking spiked seltzers, girl.
I know, but I thought maybe it'd be like creamy.
Oh no, I didn't think that at all.
Guys, somebody lead me in the way of a good cream beer. We tried this orange cream beer at the beer festival.
It was so good.
And I told myself I would remember. I couldn't remember the name, but I would remember the image because it was like something California with like the buggy van, the like shag wagon or whatever, and like rainbows. And I was like, I'll go onto the website and I'll look at all the vendors and I'll know what thing it is. And I swear to God, I did not see that vendor, so I couldn't even go to the vendor, then look at their personal beers and stuff. But that beer
It was so
was
good.
so fucking good.
It was so good.
I mean, this is good. Like, this honestly tastes exactly like a root beer that had added soda water to it.
Right.
Like, it's acceptable. I really don't like the smell, actually. That's sort of throwing me off a little bit, but...
Yeah, like every time I go to take a drink, like I smell it. I don't like that. I gotta not breathe through my nose.
But it tastes like a less syrupy, not your father's root beer.
It's cool. It's cool to try. I'll probably never buy it again.
Yeah. But good on you, Storts.
Yeah.
Good on you.
I'm sure there's people out there that
Are
like
upset.
this is it, but I don't know. Sorry
Well, there's
if
two
I
other
look
flavors.
a little crazy today. I just finished with one of my makeup looks and then had to go straight into Twin Talk, so that is why I might look a little funky or look like I have like a neck tattoo, but
It's paint. She painted that.
it's paint, so
And if you guys are just listening and not watching, go to... What's your Instagram handle?
Talana Ron.
Talana Ron. TEALANARONN. And check out Talana's makeup because it
biggest
is
type man right here.
amazing.
Thank you,
Yeah,
girl.
it's
Thank
really
you.
cool.
Yeah. So what are the two other flavors, Steven?
There's like a raspberry lime and I think a black cherry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah,
more
I'm
like
down.
traditional seltzer flavors.
Yeah. When I finish this, I'm definitely gonna grab another one and
Yeah,
try
there's
it
only
out.
100 calories.
Yeah, it's like a traditional seltzer,
Exactly.
Only one
Ooh.
carbohydrate. Well, damn. Here we go. Gluten-free.
Gluten-free.
Okay, so we have to talk about the fucking Bachelorette. What the fuck, Greg?
What happened?
Greg,
He ruined it.
He
And I
fucking ruined it.
knew
and
because
it fucking sucks because Greg is so, like, I love Greg, but he really showed his ass.
oh god, he showed his ass so much. Like
He just needs, like, they're not compatible together for a romantic relationship.
exactly, like I really like Katie as a person and I like Greg as a person.
Yeah.
Like I like that he's in touch with his emotions and you know, he's emotional and all that stuff, but they are obviously not compatible because I agree with Greg and I also agree with Katie. I mean, I agree with Katie a little bit more because Katie's a Capricorn just like us, so
Right.
I feel like I can identify with her a little bit
I
more.
agree.
But yeah, like he really showed his true colors, and it was so funny because we were talking about astrological signs, and I was like, oh, he's probably a Pisces because he's like emotional and X, Y, and Z. And when I looked it up, he was a Gemini.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, like he's not a Gemini,
Right.
Like I'm just not seeing it. Like I'm
Right.
not seeing Gemini characteristics.
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit. Like Geminis are emotional and they're very, you know, giving and stuff like that. So there were some qualities, but those are also qualities that traditional Pisces have. You know.
Right.
So, but then last night, I was like, oh,
There's your Gemini.
dude, man's a Gemini.
He was like, you're not giving me what I want. And she's like, I'm literally giving you
Everything you
everything.
want.
But he wanted her to Cassie Randolph him and to be like, I sent everybody else home and it's you and I love you. And he just couldn't get past that there was other guys. And she even said, you're my number one. You're going to be here next week. At the end of the flip side coin of that, if you do know that, then
why not just pick him?
Why not just pick him? Because obviously there's something holding you back that you want to still explore with these other men. No offense, Justin. I don't think she wants to explore anymore with him. Like, it just seemed like with Blake, it seems like she does have like a good relationship with him. It doesn't seem like she has a bad relationship with Justin. It just does seem platonic. I don't know. It just
seems like sort of bro-y.
It seems bro-y, yeah. And but with Greg, like she definitely had connection.
Emotional and physical. With Blake, I feel like she just has a physical connection.
Yeah.
So with Greg, I was like, oh, check. They mark all the boxes, at least from an outsider standpoint. You know, as like trying to matchmake and be a couple.
Right.
But then we learned that they just cannot communicate. Because, you know, once it comes to the end of it, you have to, it's almost important to have these sort of fights.
Right.
You know, because you want to see if you can overcome them.
Yeah.
And
Greg just can't get past it. He put up his own wall, and he definitely shot himself in the foot. And he's scared, man.
yeah, I mean, I definitely didn't think he was ready for an engagement, whether he said he was
I agree.
or not.
I agree.
And I understand Katie's reservations because, you know, in the past, because you got to look at it this way too. These people are going to be watching this back.
Right.
And if you say I pick Greg, and then we're watching it back together, or he's watching it back by himself or whatever, and I told Blake I loved him, I told Justin I loved him. If I were Greg, I'd be feeling some type of way, because I'd be like, okay, well, I proposed to you and you said yes, and yeah, you picked me, but if you're in love with these other guys, I don't know if it's ever going to be true.
Right.
So I understand Katie's reservations in the sense of, oh, she only wants to save that one for one person. She's going to save it for the last episode. She wants to save it for the last man standing. But Greg's whole thing was, I don't want to be the last man standing. I don't want that label. I want to be the only man standing.
Right.
I want to be the Dale to your Claire. You know, I want to be the Cassie Randolph to your Colton. You know, I don't want to be, I think he even said that. He said, I don't want to be a number.
Yeah.
What does the rose matter?
Yeah.
It's about how you feel and how you connect. And Greg, obviously, and I mean, I don't know if it was just magical editing skills or if it was just real, because I felt it. I felt the vibe change. I was
Oh my God, me too.
And I agree. I'm like, Katie, you could have at least said, thanks for sharing. You know,
She legit
like,
was just staring at him, and he's like, what? And she's like, I love looking at you.
You.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
Like, I love looking at people too, but sometimes you gotta open your mouth and say some fucking words.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's a Capricorn thing, man. Like, I feel you, Katie. I feel you.
I know. It's such a hard... I just don't want Greg to be labeled like a bad guy. I don't think he will. I mean, people are in love with Greg. I think people will be able to see both sides. I think Greg was a little stubborn considering the situation they're in. Yeah. Yes, if it was like every day, like real life or whatever, and you're, you know, kind of seeing people and you're deciding if you're going to make this like an official thing, then yeah, it's like, come on. But, you know, you do have to, I hate to say follow rules, but at the end of the day, like, this is a program, and yes, she quit a week early, but, like, she can't quit 5 weeks early like Claire did, or else they have to fucking bring somebody else. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, so it's hard.
Yeah, like, you're already sort of pushing boundaries because, you know, they got really lucky with Claire's season because... And honestly, I think Claire's season was completely orchestrated.
Oh my god!
I think they knew from the get-go because Claire has obviously been talking to Dale, and they already sort of had a connection, right? And they just knew that Claire wasn't going to get the viewership that they were expecting and they wanted because nobody was interested in Claire, nobody was excited for Claire, you know. So, and Tayshia was just randomly standing on board during COVID. I don't think so. They had that planned. Yeah. But they can't do something like that every single season. And you're right. They have a time slot to fill. And there's money that's been put into these seasons. And, you know, down payments on the hotels and reservations that have been made and all kinds of stuff. You know, staff they have to pay. So not every single person can just be like, okay, well, I found my person. Like, bye. Like, you have to finish the season out. Now, with that being said. Right. Katie should have said something. Like, Greg obviously needs a lot of affirmation. Right. He's a words of affirmation kind of guy. And she really did not give him any affirmation. She did say, like, yeah, and when she did, it wasn't what he wanted to hear. But that's also, like, tricky. It's like if you have to foot around your whole entire relationship of, you know, you got to give some, you got to take some. And for sure. It's such a short amount of time that... You know, you don't know how to, you don't always know how to communicate with those people just yet or know, like, how to respond to them. Because he was like, I don't want to be a number. And she was like, okay, I didn't, you know what I mean, though. I didn't mean it that way. Yeah. And it's like, you did, but I understand that you didn't. Exactly. You know, but he didn't like your wording of it. All he wanted was a simple, I love you, too. And she couldn't give that to him. And so he's pissed and he's leaving. I have no idea what's going to happen. If she ends up with Blake, then it's like... If I was Blake rewatching the season and I hear her being like, yeah, she never said to Greg, I love you, but she also said, you're my number one. And she implied that she said in interviews that she loved Greg. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, if I was Blake watching it, I would kind of be like, yo, what the fuck? Yeah. So I don't know. It's such a tricky situation, and that's what you get for being on reality TV. I know. I mean, they make it, and they set it up this way. I mean, I was watching Neil... What's his name? Dave Neal, and he was like, I looked up the square footage of the hotel that they're staying at, and they have their own private ice rink there, but they were playing street hockey right in front of Greg's apartments. Right. Well, Greg, obviously, editing-wise, they put Greg's date last, but I think Greg definitely probably went, like, first or second, because there was some times, like, where it just kind of implied that she was like, I still have to go see these other families. I still have to do this. And it's like, but Greg was the last one we saw. So they just kind of swapped that in editing for sure. Yeah. And probably, you know, like made it get super, super built up. Because why else? I think maybe if he wouldn't have seen her with Blake and be so happy, he maybe could have got past it a little bit. I totally agree. But then, you know, he went on his date, even though that's not the order they went on when it aired. And then, you know, he's having all this time to think because she didn't say I love you back. And then all of a sudden she sees Katie with Blake and she looks happy. She looks like she's having a good time. And that's when he's like, fuck, I can't do this anymore. Yeah. I mean, do you think it's all a setup? Like, do you think they tried to push Greg out because they want to make him the next Bachelor? No, right? No, I just don't think Greg would... I don't know. Like, I like Greg. I like that he's emotional. I also just don't think they're in the market for a white male. Right. To be the Bachelor. Yeah, I agree. Unless it was Michael A. Yeah, but Michael A's different because he has an amazing backstory, and he's such a rich person,
Right.
And he has a single father thing, and there's just something different about Michael. Like, I'm not saying there's nothing different about Greg, but if you put Greg in a stand-up with a bunch of other white people, like,
right,
he's not gonna. We really don't know that much about Greg. I mean, we know his father died. We know that he's obviously emotional, but I feel like we really got to know Michael to almost his core.
Right.
Because he had so much personality. And Greg has personality, but it's like a sad puppy dog personality. So I feel like even though Michael is white, he's different.
Right.
He has this different sort of vibe. Where Greg, to me, is like a Peter. It's like, okay, Peter's really good looking, and he seemed fun on Hannah Brown's season or whatever, but at the end of the day, he's really just your average white dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think he's emotionally ready to, like, get married. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, they have to be announcing a new person.
But they have to. I mean, Michelle's season is already filming, and I mean, I heard that they might do back-to-back bachelors, just like they did back-to-back bachelorettes. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I know a lot of people are gunning for Andrew S. or Michael. Michael, I would love to see Michael again, just because I think
watched
he's
an interview
interesting.
with Michael, and he just seems like he's not necessarily interested, just because he's like, I had real feelings for Katie, and those just don't go away, and I have to think about my son, and how was dating 30 women gonna look to my son, and like, like all this stuff. So how do you explain that? I think Michael probably isn't out, but he'll forever be in our hearts.
Yeah, and you know what? Michael, especially now with all the exposure he has, he's gonna find somebody.
Oh,
Guy is gonna get taken off the market real fucking quick because he is a gem of a human being.
Oh my god, he is amazing.
And I don't think that's an edit. I think the Bachelor producers literally just found a gem and ran with it, because sometimes you find that, like, not every season, but most seasons there's just like that one person that you're like, you are too wholesome to be a part of this trash TV.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Abigail from Matt's season, like. And she's going to be on Bachelor in Paradise, and I'm really excited.
I'm so excited for Bachelor in Paradise.
Yeah, and I love that. That's my thing, is let's add more, let's be more inclusive that way.
Yeah.
I love that we had our first deaf contestant, Like, I loved that. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. I guess I wouldn't mind if Andrew S. was The Bachelor. I mean, I really don't feel like I know that much about him. I really don't think I could deal with all of the accents.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that if he is the next Bachelor, that's sort of nipped in the bud a little bit. But you know what? There's a ton of men on Michelle's season.
Yeah. That they could choose from.
Too. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think they're in any rush to choose.
No.
Just yet.
I agree.
I don't think they're in any rush to choose just yet. Yeah, so I have no idea what's going to happen in the next episode. I don't know if she's going to end up with Blake or if she's going to end up alone. I don't know if Greg is going to come back. I don't know if...
I mean, I think Greg's out. Like,
I think Greg's out, too.
And here's another thing, too, is even if Greg felt remorseful about his actions, which I hope he does, because I do think that he sort of treated Katie like shit, especially in those last couple of moments.
Yeah, and he just, like, left.
I feel like he's going to be too stubborn to admit that he was wrong. End of story. Because his whole thing was, Katie's not talking to me. Katie's not understanding me. Okay, well, then Katie came out. She literally chased after you.
Yeah, she's literally groveling at your feet.
Kneeling at your feet, saying, I want you to stay. I don't want this to end. Like, what do I need to do? And now you're ignoring her and you're not saying anything.
Right.
Come on, dude. I just think that he's going to be too stubborn to admit that he was wrong. Or at least that he wasn't seeing both sides of the coin. Yeah. And how hard this journey is, obviously, for Katie, too. And so, yeah, I think that he's going to be too stubborn to admit that he was wrong in the first place. So I don't think we're seeing any more of Greg. I mean, I think we'll see him in the tabloids, but, like, I don't think we're going to see any more of him on Katie's season. Justin, he's definitely out. I mean, he's so sweet. I think he's super mega hot. Woo! Jesus Christ, he is
sweet
sexy.
Baby Jesus.
But, I mean, they're obviously just not they're compatible, but they're not that, like...
He's adjacent to
like,
the Becca,
I think it could
know
work.
What I mean?
I think it could work. It could work.
Yeah.
If they wanted it to, but it's not that, like, love at first sight.
Yeah, there's not, like, that, like, spark.
Yeah.
You know, like with Kat Connor.
Yeah, exactly.
You could probably live comfortably, have fun, but there would always be something
just like missing a little bit.
Yeah.
So Justin's totally out. So really all that does is leave Blake. And I really think Blake has the emotional depth of a goldfish.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. If Katie's into that and that's who she picks, I hope it works out. But I don't know if Blake's it.
I don't know. I mean, I wish the best for her. I mean, I guess we'll see. It's a 3-hour finale. We're having a little party. We're gonna do a little dessert charcuterie board, order pizza, drink beer, and obviously probably not beer. We'll drink rosé and prosecco,
champagne. Yeah.
And it'll be really fun, and I'm really excited to, finish this chapter and move on to Bachelor in Paradise.
I mean, I'm stoked for Bachelor in Paradise.
I'm so excited.
I love The Bachelor and Bachelorette, but Bachelor in Paradise, that goofy theme song, and it's just so trashy. There's no
I just
rules.
feel like it's more real, less editing.
Oh, I completely agree. And honestly, if you're really, really trying to find somebody that you want to spend your life with, I feel like Bachelor in Paradise is a lot better way of finding that than Bachelor, Bachelorette, because you only have one choice.
Right.
You only have one choice, unless you're like in Japan, because remember in Japan there was like 2 contestants who left The Bachelor
to be with each other. Right,
so great.
Right.
But I mean, that usually doesn't happen. You know, usually it's you're fighting for this one person's heart, X, Y, and Z. Where Bachelor in Paradise, it's like, hey,
it's a free for
all. We hung out.
Mm-hmm.
Nah. Hey, you want to hang out?
Plus, you're with them all the time. You see how they interact with other people. You see, you eat in front of them. Like, you eat in front of them.
I know. I feel like that's such a big thing. Like, none of these contestants have ever eaten in front of, like,
that's like fucking fake food on the table when they go out to dinner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're sweaty. You're gross. You watch these bitches come in looking fly as hell.
And they are not leaving fly as hell.
They look sweaty. Mm-hmm. Their nails need to be done. Their hair needs to be did.
Yeah.
Not like in a bad way. They all still look great. But like, I'm just saying, like, you really do end up seeing more of a true person than this, like, oh, I'm getting dressed up. I'm going, whatever. You're sweating together. You're eating together. You're sleeping together. You're literally spending 24 hours a day together, and not only with just each other, but you're interacting with everybody, and you get to see how they interact with everybody else. Where, like, the Bachelorette or the Bachelor, you don't necessarily see that. You just hear about the drama in the house, and then it, curtails from there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so I'm excited for this next episode.
I know, me too.
Woo! Twin talk, twin talk.